What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this RWBY discussion, this time Volume 7, Episode 11, Gravity. As always, I'm your host, Connor. With us, we have Travis.
Yo.
And to his left is Mike.
What up?
So this was an episode.
Yeah.
So it was, in fact, an episode.
I loved it.
Not a long episode, but an episode nonetheless.
Maybe not a long episode. It was the longest one I've seen so far.
Longest one of this volume, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it went by like that, because so much of it was an action sequence. Mike with the 6 shades. But we'll hop straight into it with my favorite part of the episode, probably, which is Watts v. Ironwood and their grand battle.
Yeah.
And what a fucking battle it was.
Yeah, this is cool.
This was such a fun fight, I thought. They're jumping around the battlefield, gravity shifting based on what Watts is controlling.
I see purple coming out of Ironwood's gun when he shoots backwards, or shoots side to side to move.
That was gravity dust.
That is gravity dust. Okay, so he's using that to jettison himself forward.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty sure I called that. I was like,
cool.
That's not the first time we've seen that. Also, that's the second time I think we've seen that. The first time is in the RWBY Red trailer, the initial thing that came out about RWBY, and I've had that in the book, the D&D book. This whole time, so you are welcome to do things like that. I just have to add in the fact that it has a knockback function if you hit them with it too.
Okay, because so far you said that there was cartridges for like shotguns, but like for
no, any type of gun.
Okay, cool.
Just dust ammo.
Okay.
And I'm so happy to see dust ammo used again like that. I've been wanting to see gravity dust. In the most recent D&D episode that we recorded, depending on how you guys handled that situation with Davos, he was going to use gravity dust if you tried to run away and no one tried to stop back. He was not going to let you get fucking away from him.
I was prepared to fight.
I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get to use the gravity dust because of this episode. I was like, God damn it. Could have been like, I called it. What could have been? What could have been? But I think pretty much everything about this fight was incredible. The choreography, I think this is the best fight that we have had since Volume 3.
I just love the rings. Those things are badass.
They're so creative in how he's doing. He's using the hard light shield to both shield himself and make walkable platforms. Never thought about that as a possibility for him. And then the fact that he's hacking with them the whole time.
Just shows how smart and clever he is.
Yeah, it's incredible. I love every bit of it.
Apparently has a hand-to-hand combat training because he was hold his ground.
He was.
Freaking running up the walls, canceling shit so he can't get to him. This whole fight was just amazing.
I love the music for it too. The way it just kicks straight in, and there's kind of like a pause before it comes with the lyric songs, which are always a little off-putting for me, but after that the first few words, I was like, okay, I'm into this. I would die without you. 14, 13. With 0 reservations,
I mean, and even Watts used dust ammunition. He used the ice.
He was
dust.
using it constantly. He was even using fire, I believe, for a couple of shots.
It's pretty nifty.
And the first time that ammunition has ever actually come into play in terms of running out of it. Of course, you could argue it came into play with Adam, but that's just a whole nother, we'll do that later.
Nope. I was gonna say we're gonna go right past that.
That was like one of my favorite parts of this whole compilation here was them. He's like, I can count too. Shit.
He tried to bluff him at the very end. It was so great. I'm so happy that Ironwood came out with that. But it's also, we finally saw Ironwood using 2 pistols. Granted, one of them got shot out of his hand partway through the fight, but it was still, still pretty cool.
But him shoving his arm through there and getting caught in the
using the rings as a hard light dust barrier to lock Ironwood in place.
That was just clever.
The second I saw it, I was like, Ironwood, you know what the fuck you need to do. You rip your hand out of there, and you don't give
How
a
did he?
fuck. And he just did it. I was so pumped when I was watching that. I was so fucking happy. I was
I
like,
knew he was gonna
yeah,
do it too.
yeah.
I had zero doubt till he was like, I pull that.
Just let
Oh,
it dangle.
man.
Just there it is. And then he shoves him against the ground and just runs with him. That seems like a Howl move.
I love them. It has the whole line because it's kind of the callback to them talking about be careful of what you sacrifice. They said in the previous episode, or maybe the one before that. Because they don't want him to sacrifice too much for what he's trying to do. And then he has that line of,
I will sacrifice whatever it takes to stop her.
I hope you do, James.
chills.
I hope you do.
So
It's almost like Watts wants him to win, wants him to do something good because he said at the end, "I hope you do."
there's
I feel
also
like
a
Okay.
scene later on here where something is called out over the phones to everybody, and Tyrion, he looks at them, looks at Clover and then Hill and Crow with a huge smile on his face. I think it's going according to plan. I think they didn't necessarily intend for them to lose, but the plan was never for them to win. So I think they have backup measures in place. And so I guess this leads to another question. Is Watts still alive? Because we didn't see him die.
Yeah, I don't think he's alive.
I mean, I feel like Ironwood would have kept him alive.
I think
Like
he would
Watts
too.
is a valuable asset in
I
terms
just don't know anymore.
Mm,
Later on, we'll talk about that later on. But it just the way his attitude has changed, I just don't know anymore.
pretty much completely unhinged. Or maybe more hinged than ever, however you want to put it.
of.
And then we get to another fight.
Yeah, well, before that, we also, while this is going on, we do get a little bit more of the insight into Watts' inspiration for being with Salem. We know that he held a grudge against Ironwood, but seeing it, how much it's affected him. You chose that fat man, whatever he says that. I can't remember what he says, but you chose Pietro over me. So it's clearly held a grudge. He also has a green aura, so I'm just saying, Mech 5, Clover being green, it's unlikely. I don't think it's going to be the case.
I did see the green aura, so I still do wonder like what was their relationship? There's got to be more to it than just that. It's more. It got to be more than just like, oh, you picked him over me. Like, under what circumstances?
Yeah.
What happened between them? Like,
And there's also, while Ironwood has his arm trapped in the hard light dust, Watts has the line where he says, now, where did they put them? I wonder if that's going to come back at all. Because, like, he's scanning through the Amity Tower. So I'm wondering if maybe he was looking for dust or something.
that was my thought. Like the dust that they were going to use to launch it.
So I feel like that's going to have a comeback. I feel like that's going
Yeah.
to be called back here. Oh, God. Such a good fight.
The whole
Yeah, I
episode
did
had
love
good
that fight.
fights.
More than the next one. Because the
Oh,
next
yeah.
one was honestly like kind of lackluster.
I thought so, too. Compared to the first fight.
I love seeing the fishing pole used more.
Yeah. So that
It's
next
a very
fight
interesting
is
weapon.
next fight is Tyrion versus Hill, Clover, and Crow all together.
And just the fact that he's able to hold his own for a little while in it is pretty impressive.
He's
And
clearly
Hill,
the best fighter.
I mean, Hill is just not even a threat at all to him. Like, it's just like, we might as well just stop even shooting.
The only reason that he got any hits from Hill is just because he decided to be cocky with it. Fucking catching the fucking bolt in his mouth and then it was dust. Clever Hill, but also
That was great.
I guess it's a smart move by her because she's seen him just catching them very easily multiple times now.
I did like when she started bouncing the bolts off of
That was
stuff,
cool.
trying to like ricocheting it. That's pretty clever.
Yeah, that was
Or-
very cool.
That'd be interesting, D&D wise.
Mm-hmm. And Crow is even using his shotgun a lot more uniquely in this fight than we've typically seen. Using to kind of prep himself or launch him in certain directions to unleash a stronger attack. I liked everything. I like the choreography in both these fights better than most of the fights previously. The
And
closest thing would be the
Tyrion's
exception of like the Adam fight against Yang in Volume 6, and that was just because it was such a cool fight, but that was also animated mostly by Monty, he was the original animator for the show, the head animator, and that was choreographed back in season 3 when he wanted to put that in.
Tyrion's aura is pink.
Which I do find a little weird.
I
But
would have thought it was purple.
it was kind of like a pinkish purple, you could argue, but yeah. Because his eyes do glow that purple when he does it.
Mm-hmm.
And he has one of those exceptions where, like, for a lot of them, you'll see that their aura is the same color as their eyes, but those few that kind of throw it off, they confuse me. Now I'm wondering if
So
maybe
does
that
that
might be
mean
an indicator
Dune's,
of something, so I don't know.
Does that mean Dune's aura is yellow?
Oh, it makes sense.
So, like, if he's wearing his contacts and someone sees his aura flicker, and they're like, "Why is your aura not green or blue or whatever the color his contacts are?"
Could be, but there are exceptions to this rule, so you could just say, "Oh, I'm just one of those people."
I was just mad, like we didn't see him like tear through somebody's aura. Like I was honestly waiting for that because I thought that's why they were like showcasing it earlier on.
But it would make sense if it is still part of their plan that they wanted Tyrion to kind of be captured in a way.
True. Okay.
Which their
Yeah,
dialogue between Watts and Tyrion kind of throws that off, but
I just want to know
who knows?
why Ironwood brought that briefcase back to open and didn't open it right then and there.
He might not have been able to. Might have been locked.
Maybe it didn't look like it had any locks on it though. I think it was just little fastens.
I don't know.
But he literally brought it all the way back. He went and got a brace for his arm first, came back to the room, waited for everybody to get there. Didn't even open it then.
Which I think you could argue it's justified to a degree, especially if he arrested Watts instead of killing him. Just taking the bag and just being like, all right, well, I'm going to keep this in maybe like a personal vault of mine for safekeeping to make sure he can't get it. And maybe that's why he did it. He's like, I'm going to let someone else like Pietro go over this because it's probably like a hacking tool or something. I'm going to let him take care of that later. And then with him being in the room, and when he returns to the room, we see he's just completely shocked and terrified by what he sees. What he sees is the Black Queen on his desk.
Mm-hmm.
Just a semblance of fucking nightmare for him.
I've seen
So he could just be distracted when that happens.
And then gives that call to Winter, just like someone's there right now. Go.
Yeah. Sending Winter to the Winter Maiden. And Cinder's plan is all according to plan. I wish we got more with Cinder. It feels kind of forced in at this point, honestly.
She is just like she'll get her place in the next season.
Well, it
They're,
kind
like,
of
saving
is
that
if you
for
think about it. It kind of is forced in because she's not part of. She's not going directly off of what she was told to do. She's just kind of coming in here and doing it herself, isn't she?
Yeah.
Kind of trying to redeem herself
Though
a little bit.
She didn't really have anything she was told to do at the moment. But that is what she's still trying to do, is redeem herself.
I'm still trying to figure out what was supposed to happen in Vale instead.
Now, everything happened just fine in Vale. It was Mistral that backfired.
Was it Mistral?
Yeah.
They said, she said, that's what she said. She said they were supposed to go to Mistral first.
No, she said they were supposed to go into Vacuo first.
Vacuo, fuck, I don't know. I'm
thinking what you're. We were thinking of two different things that you're going on to.
So,
my expectation with that is, in a previous season, they had reported that Hazel had reported to Salem that Ozpin has already returned and that he's already got a new host. And then that pisses Salem the fuck off. And Watts, I think, is the one who has the line, if anyone can talk sense into Ironwood to stop him from going down this path he's going down, it's going to be Ozpin. So that might be why they rushed the timetable, why they instead focused on Mantle, because that is the one person that could fuck up their plans if they don't do it quick enough.
Okay.
That's my speculation.
Makes sense.
I've thought a lot about those lines in particular. God, I hope we see Ozpin soon. After Ironwood sees the Black Queen, he calls Penny, Team RWBY, and the Aesops all back to Atlas. And then Team Junior, Jean and his team, go to get Oscar. And Ironwood reacts about everything with the Black Queen.
Yeah, he is upset. I've never seen him so unhinged. Unhinged is the correct word.
Yeah. All of his doubts have been brought to the forefront with this. They were inside. They are here. We have no idea how much they know. We have no idea if this is all according to their plan, which it very well might still be.
What if it's just? What if it was just a way to draw us away from the academy?
Well, they're in the academy right now. Or if you mean like the attack on Mantle, yeah, that could be. That could be the doubt that he's expressing. But then with everyone in Atlas, it could be also now everyone's gathered together in one place if we don't get the city out of here. Ugh.
He actually slams his hand down on the desk at one point, and all four of the girls have this scared look on their face because they're not used to this Ironwood, this unsteady, unhinged, little crazy Ironwood.
No, I think they already knew. Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's part of why like they didn't like tell him the truth in the first place.
But he would always come back and be recomposed. This is the first time that just doesn't happen.
Well, in trying to save everyone, they left themselves wide open.
Yeah, they fucked themselves up. Before we get there, RWBY also calls out that the Black Queen is made out of glass and reveals that Cinder is in fact alive, and everyone now knows, not just us, the viewers. So thank God that that's finally. There's also a line that Ironwood says that maybe Hazel is here, showing that even Ironwood is afraid of Hazel. Hazel's a fucking beast. He must be like the most terrifying person in the whole world, considering that both Ozpin and Ironwood are afraid of him.
I mean, he's kind of a scary dude. This man injects raw dust into his own body.
Wise fucking has the Lancer Queen that shoots right through his abdomen and just yanks him in. He just gets the fuck up. He's like, "What the fuck was that, girl?"
I'd be scared of this
man. He's something else. I haven't seen he's like a juggernaut. He just doesn't stop.
That's great.
But you have to wonder, like, if you shot one of those crystals that was sticking out of his body, what would happen?
Yeah, that'd be a good point. That could be a good way to fuck him up a little bit.
Like, just aim for it, boom, shoot it, explode it, and then would that just be it? Would he just blow his own body up? I mean, those things are.
I think he'd probably survive it. I think he'd probably survive it, but I think it would be a good way to fuck up his meshing with dust abilities.
Mm-hmm. It definitely caused a huge reaction.
So Ironwood
just gets better.
Ironwood continues with the line saying, "Are you with me?" And they all seem to kind of doubt themselves, and that's when he starts calling out Blake and Yang about, "Did you tell Hill?
What did you do? What did you do?
Can I trust you? You know, you lied to me about the lamp before. You lied to me about Hill. You let Hill go." And that's where you see the Aesops are also kind of turning on Team RWBY.
Yeah, I had a feeling this is what was going to happen. We've talked about this, where all of a sudden it comes down to them fighting each other, and it just, then you see the bags start moving around. And you're like, okay, here we go. Something's about to happen.
He's got that final line of loyalty always matters.
There's a lot of negative emotion in the air. And that's just making it worse and worse.
Yeah.
I wonder if you know how y'all are talking about how it's 5 people on the Mech 5 team?
Yeah.
There's a part when they're talking and their team is looking at each other and getting like kind of looking at them like they're traitors, but then the dog one looks at them like back and forth, like he's concerned, like he's still like, what's going on? Why are we doing this? So I wonder if he's going to be the one that's like, I'm not in on this, you know?
It could be. He's definitely the most sentimental of them all. But with Clover not being there, I think that it's going to be a 4-on-4 and that he's not going to turn. But we'll see.
None of this matters right now.
Loyalty always matters.
I love that line. It's perfect because you know, him as general. But that is when the seer emerges from his bag, or from Watts' bag, cracks, revealing that powder, and then Salem emerges.
You see Ironwood draw his weapon and back away in fear. He is just scared to death now.
And you kind of see that everyone kind of gets afraid of that. It's going between the Aesops as they're finally seeing Salem for the first time. Because Team RWBY, they've seen Salem before through a twisted vision from Emerald.
This whole scene right here really makes RWBY come back for me. Just her being like, we're going to stop you. We might not be able to kill you, but we will stop you. It's just her not backing down really made me feel for her more.
And it's the stuff that I like about RWBY. Not RWBY the liar, RWBY the truther. Fuck RWBY the liar. Regular RWBY, fine. But Salem does try to convert Ironwood, you know. Stand down, blah, blah, blah. I'll spare people. Just give me what I want, and this will be over. And I'm so happy that Ironwood fucking stands his ground. I'm so fucking happy that he does that. He's like, no, I will never give in to you.
He thinks about it for a second.
But then he fucking reaffirms himself.
I know,
do not think that he will ever do it.
I know, but he's listening to what she says. He drops his gun, looking back and forth like she's right for a second, and then he reaffirms himself. But it's like, but he thought about it for a second.
I think that's more him thinking about her when she says that Watts and Tyrion were just there to set the stage for her. I think that's him more just realizing, oh shit, it's exactly what I was just talking about. All my fears are completely realized. This is all part of their plan still, and I just need to get Atlas the fuck out of here. I can't beat her, maybe. I think is what's going through his head. But it could be that he is thinking about converting. That doubt goes into his head. I don't think so. Ironwood's always been the most convicted person in the whole show, honestly.
Oh, and then she totally shuts RWBY down, and I felt this part when it started doing the back and forth to her mom, and the music was playing. I was like, "Oh man, I got like goosebumps." I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it. When she was like, "Your mother said those same words." It's like, oh my god!
It has that weird like that screech as it cuts back to the vision of her.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if her mom is dead. I don't know. But RWBY, she could just kind of have that breakdown. Sorry, what were you saying, Mike?
Nah, my bad. You good.
RWBY kind of has that breakdown with that, and her eyes start freaking out, kind of like they're short-circuiting.
Either short-circuiting or her emotions were getting the best of her, and they were kind of like trying to. It was like flashing back and forth, like trying to do something but couldn't. Like maybe she was trying to do it.
Could be. But so this goes into a different theory that I've had about the Silver Eyes that I've thought about making a video for. And I just, there's not enough reason for me to believe it. But I think that the Silver Eyes are both a mix of the God of Light and the God of Darkness, or the God of, is it God of Darkness? Of the two gods' powers. Because we've seen it be able to just kill Grimm without a second thought. But I've always thought it'd be very interesting if the reason why the Silver-Eyed Warriors were really hunted down is because their powers, when they're trying to take down a friend or something like that, you know, the opposite of trying to protect someone or trying to protect the people who you care about to get the shining light. I think it'd be interesting if like a dark light would happen and she ends up hurting everyone in the room when she gets to that point.
Yeah, that, or it's a thing where she uses it too much or too frequently, and it could be like the Sasuke,
the Sharingan,
the Sharingan, where it just eventually dies out.
It could be. I feel like we get more of a hint about that with Maria, but she was also, you know, young when her eyes were lost, so maybe she doesn't know. Still.
And then she just dissolves.
I don't think Ruby's mom is dead though.
I don't think so either.
And she may have failed, but I definitely don't think she's dead.
I think she's the dog.
Like, I will not support that theory.
I would love it if she is why.
I mean, doesn't it make sense though?
No, there's no supporting evidence.
I mean, to an extent, she's like a werewolf.
I don't want to hear it.
Fits in the Red Riding Hood theme.
I don't.
So the Aesops all have their reactions to Salem after this.
That's who we're up against.
Yeah. And they discover their coastal detection systems, their long-range detection, all that, have all been either shut down or, as Ironwood says, they're destroyed.
Or they're destroyed.
And so that pretty much puts everyone kind of in their place of like, oh shit, this is what we're fighting against. At least the Aesops. They're like, okay, well, time to pack our bags and get the fuck out.
Well, not to mention the fact that Ironwood was lying once again.
Sort of. Was he?
It was just to draw those guys in.
Was he? So I didn't go back and look about this. Ironwood says that he was lying about Amity Arena, about it being complete. Or he doesn't say it. It's implied that he was lying about Amity Arena being complete. But wasn't Hill's semblance still detecting him as telling the truth?
We didn't see it. I don't think they cut away from it.
That's-
It was in the beginning, but they.
So this is either a massive plot hole then, like a massive plot hole, or he's actually telling the truth and he's just saying "fuck Amity Arena."
You make a good point though, because they cut away. Like it started off that way, but then they cut away towards just his upper body, and you can't even see his hands.
Yeah,
So-
but
it's
Hill,
possible.
Hill wouldn't have supported that if that was the case, unless it was the whole "let's draw him in" thing with Hill.
Well, and she did specifically say where she was going, so it could have been that.
Mhm. But now he's talking about taking the staff and the lamp and locking them away.
Yep. So
Like
he
just
sent to
guy
Winter to
with
get
those
the Winter
people.
Maiden. Oh man, I love that. You've proven that I can't trust you, so I'm gonna keep the lamp. Fuck you.
And we gonna fly up in the sky. They can't never touch us.
And that's just not going to work for Ruby and Ruby's bunch. That's just not going to work for them.
Yeah, they're all freaking out because that means that they're gonna abandon everyone who's still there on Mantle
More than just Mantle. Like that's like
Yeah.
everybody.
and the rest of the world. But
I mean, of course
specifically, they're
the-
just leaving the people in Mantle to die and saying the rest of the world might have a chance.
Of course, the Aesops are just like,
What are our orders, sir?
No, that also raises the question for Rin, right? Because our boy's been like basically like teetering on the edge here of like, all right, Ironwood's right. So I'm trying to see like how is he gonna respond to this?
I didn't think about that. I
Yeah,
mean, I
is that
imagine he'd still support Ironwood, considering his history with the village. It's like if I had a chance to save half my village, compared to what the aftermath was, I would have taken that.
So I'm like, is he gonna choose, Team Ruby and gang or?
I don't know why they don't just have Vine go out there and when every one of the room come up, just be like, no.
Or Team Ruby in this next fight that's gonna come up. He's just gonna start off and just slam him into a wall and be like, "All right, I got him."
What you gonna do?
Not today.
Team Ruby, they try to persuade Ironwood as best as they can, but it's just they're arguing against a brick wall right now.
He's like, I should have never said anything. You've brought all this on me. We were fine before you came and all this happened. He doesn't give a fuck about them anymore.
They lied.
We're gonna do things my way, and that's it. I'm doing martial law. I knew he was coming. I told you
I
this.
was so happy when he said he's declared martial law, and just why he's just
What's the council going to say?
Nothing. Once I declare martial law.
Oh,
it's just such a defeated way of saying. It's like, no, come on, no.
But I told you,
Oh.
martial law was coming.
No, I had no doubts.
And then Ruby's like, tell John, hurry. Tell everybody.
Yeah, she gets the call from Jean. Jean's like, I've got something important I need to tell you. And Ruby's just like, fuck what you're trying to say. It is abandoning everyone in Mantle. So Penny, Winter, Clover, Crow, Hill, and Tyrion all hear this because they're all on the same call, apparently.
But Clover's reaction is just, instead of being like surprised, it's like, okay, affirmative. Yes, exactly. Well, but what is he going to do?
That's the question here. In the opening video, we do see it's just Hill and Crow fighting Tyrion. So they might end up fighting Clover. In disagreement, I don't know. Tyrion, this might be exactly where he wants to be. He might kill Clover and then try and kill those two.
You're right, though. That smile that he's looking right at Tyrion, like right at Clover, like, this is exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna do what I want you to do, and then I'm gonna get away.
Oh man, what if Clover does team up with Tyrion in that? It's just like, I will take you here to Atlas if you follow with me. Like, you just have to help me take down these two right now because they are the threats to the entire city. They'll be like, well,
I don't think he would.
I don't think he would either, but I think it'd be funny or interesting at least.
If anything, I think he might release Tyrion and then get up out of there, and then maybe Tyrion fights them while he gets away.
Could be. And as that's all happening, we cut back to Ironwood. He's turned off the transmission, saying, nope, you don't get to make this call. You don't get to finish what you're saying. I don't care anymore. Aesops, fuck them up. I'm going out. And the Aesops just all stand in the way.
I'm sorry, it's come to this.
I love the line, I think it's the final thing he says is they're leaving. And they're saying, I can't remember what their line is, but it's like, we're not going to go down without a fight. Or we're going to do everything we can to stop you, something to that extent. And just his line.
I know.
I knew that was the line. I've been able to call like little bits of Ironwood's dialogue and those obvious statements. I love it so much. He's like, yeah, that's the correct response here. It's the correct thing to say.
I mean, I just don't feel like Ruby's team stands a chance. They should not win this fight.
I don't think they should either. But
I mean,
they will.
Vine could literally just be like, no. And just like, you're not doing anything. Big hands. No.
And that's the only reason, like, that's the reason why I think that Ruby's, like, a second part of her Silver Eyes might happen, where it's something that hurts everyone in the room.
Maybe.
Because I think that would be very interesting if that happened. Because that would not only get Ruby in place to have another face down with Cinder, but it would be a way that makes sense for them defeating the Aesops.
What about the biggest question of the whole episode? Oscar, where are you?
That's Jean's still trying to get through on the message. It's like, Ruby, blah, 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 blah. Did you get through? No. Oscar's been taken.
You see that whole room is shot up.
Boo-doo-doo. I'm sorry.
So, the question
is, and why were the robots in there? Like, were the robots there and he knew what was going to happen and he was going to capture Oscar?
I assume they were guarding Oscar in the lamp.
So did someone take Oscar, or did Oscar know what was going on and left?
So I think it's Neo, and I think she's transformed as Ruby. Because
Same.
she saw the romance going on between Oscar and Ruby when she was leaving the Weiss Manor, or the Schnee Manor. And so she might just be like, come here.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, but Oscar's not stupid.
He might not be thinking with his brain. He might be thinking with his dick.
If she's not talking, come on, he's pretty smart though. If she's not talking the whole time, unless she's like he starts saying stuff and then someone runs by and she goes, like,
yeah. He doesn't know Neo. He's got no expectation to like think of a mute going on.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what could happen? All she has to do is kiss him, and he'll fucking accept anything. As a guy, I know this.
All right, let's go.
Maybe I'm more of a sucker than you all, but
I mean, you're probably right. She probably did come get him, but my other thought is, What if he heard what was going on as well and got the fuck out of there
It's possible.
and headed straight to where um, the other piece was. What was the other piece? It was the lamp and the staff.
The staff.
Maybe he headed towards the staff.
Could be. But
Maybe
there's no point
Winter-
going to the staff because he can't open it. He can't get the staff.
I don't know. You have a point there.
They have to have the Winter Maiden for that. I assume it's the
Cool.
Winter Maiden. It's implied that it's the Winter Maiden.
We'll find out next time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a Cinder versus Winter
Yeah.
Yeah.
showdown coming. I'm like,
And
I
Penny's
was
with
waiting for
Winter.
this.
So it's going to be Cinder versus Winter and Penny.
It's gonna-
So you know what that means, Mike?
What it means is
Yeah.
they're gonna fight, and then Winter's gonna look back and say, "Get the Winter Maiden out of here," and then she's gonna get the fuck out with the Winter Maiden. She's not gonna be able to stop her, and then she's gonna die. Winter's gonna die right there. That's what's gonna happen.
There's no doubt in my mind that Winter dies.
What if Penny becomes the Winter Maiden?
I was just going to bring that up.
Is that even possible? Like,
I
Yes.
don't know.
She has a soul.
But is it...
well,
but
it's
for
official.
a maiden, you have to be a young woman. Youngish woman.
Well,
She
is
has
a woman, though.
Pietro's soul. Does it
But-
count?
but it is transmuted into her own.
But that's the question. Does that count?
Guess we'll find out.
There's so many
That'd
little
be
thoughts I've had about the
amazing.
technicalities of this as to what would and wouldn't count for that. So
And what would happen if she did? Like, if she did merge with her, would something happen to Penny as a whole? Like, would she change? I'm a real girl.
maybe.
All my dreams just came true.
She's a real girl in my book. Best girl.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Winter
Trying to
will
think.
actually become the Winter Maiden, but then because she doesn't have a grasp on her powers, she dies. Maybe
know
she'll
what
think of
sucks?
someone close to her. Maybe Penny, who's right there. Maybe Cinder, her killer. Something that has been said happens often. Maiden powers often go into the person who killed them. Or
That's-
maybe she's thinking of her sister.
I feel like all the episodes here in this series, in this, like, at least the last 4 or 5, I've watched them be like, no, it's not over. It's always leaving me like hanging, like, oh no.
I remember, I think in my react, I was saying, like once Tyrion had been arrested, I was like, man, things are going pretty good right now. You know what that means? Shit's about to hit the fan. And then this fucking second half of the episode, I was like, oh fuck.
I mean, someone's about to die.
Yep.
You know, I've been thinking about that.
Ironwood and Winter. Who?
Team Funky.
I've
Where
been
have
thinking
they
about them
been
too.
at?
Where the fuck are they?
Where have they been at this whole time?
Team
Fuck-
who?
Team Funky. The people that were
Oh, yeah.
training with Team RWBY earlier in this volume. I think I know exactly where they are. They're down at the club that fucking Blake and Yang went to earlier, and they're just partying.
They're still partying to this moment. Like until the Grim like knocked the building down, they're just gonna be in there.
Salem's gonna be there with the giant grim knock down the building. They're just like, oh, come on.
You think
Oh,
that's
fuck.
really? Do you think that's an oversight on the creator, or do you think that they're actually something's actually going on there?
I don't. I think it's just an oversight, or like they don't want to worry about Team Funky because their side characters are like they're just off doing other things to help the people of Mantle over here. Blah, blah, blah.
See,
Well,
it's
maybe
supporting.
maybe in the next episode they'll since they've been clearing all the Grim out and everything, maybe there'll be something that references it for at least a second, at least to put our minds at ease. You know, like, okay, so that's what they were doing. We'll move
Oh,
on.
they're all dead. I see.
We literally just got introduced to the other two team members of Team Funky, and now they're dead. I don't even know who they are.
I remember
just
one of their
wanted to
names is Cobalt,
I literally just
And
remember
Ivory.
2 people.
and the other one is it starts with a Y.
Ivory.
Ivory. Yeah, that's yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I was like, dang. I was like, man, they seem kind of cool too.
It was a hell of an episode, though. I loved it.
What would you
So-
rate it though?
That's what I was just gonna say. Should we get to ratings and best boy and best girl? Let's do ratings first since we're already on the topic. I will rate it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Same.
That was a great episode.
I watched. There's a guy on YouTube, Eruption Fang, who I watch his breakdowns of the episodes afterwards because I think he has some funny commentary, and I agree with a lot of his points. He has one line at the very end. It's like, moral of the story: Ironwood could fuck your mom if he wanted to. God damn, I love Ironwood this episode so much. So let's go into best boy and best girl. Best boy, fucking Ironwood. No fucking doubts. Best girl, also Ironwood.
Ironwood is best girl.
Ah, man, who wrote best girl here?
Nope, you solidified it. Moving on next.
Best girl. I think I'm gonna go Weiss. She didn't do much, but neither did most of the characters. And I'm still mad at RWBY about being a lying,
Go on.
Bitch. I don't know why I was holding back on the word.
I was like, go on.
And Weiss just having the whole disappointed no, that really just resonated with me.
All right. I can agree with that.
That's honestly all it is. Because sure, shit, I'm not giving it to Cinder. Not yet. All right, Travis.
Ironwood. And I would say best girl is RWBY. Just because of her the stand she took. Ironwood's over there like, and she's like, no. We will not back down to you. We are going to stop you. We can't kill you, but we're going to stop you. We've seen you fail before. And it's just, I was like, yes. Okay, finally, this RWBY comes back.
And she breaks down and falls on the ground crying.
Yeah, that was kind of something. But you find out more about her. You see more about her character, too. Like, where are those visions coming from? Did what's her name put them into her head? Or is that just a memory from her mom that she remembers?
I assume it's just a memory. But I don't know. I can't imagine Salem could have put him into her head. We also don't know the extent of magic. Oh, that could be a theory. Salem might have fucking turned Summer into Zwei.
Nope. Like I said, any theory you present with correlating Summer to Zwei is out of the window.
Husband did it with Raven and Crow. All right, Mike.
Right out.
Best boy, best girl.
So you already know best girl, obviously.
Yeah.
Penny.
Yep.
Yeah. And if it wasn't Penny, it would be Summer, because now, we know she has something to do with Salem. She's got some character. Yeah, some character defining right here. So
your mother said
but
that
still
same
Penny.
thing.
What was it?
Your mother said that same thing.
Salem shutting down the Silver Ice with a yo mama joke.
I was like, oh, savage.
That's probably a meme already. It's probably browse the internet. Nah, best boys is clearly across the board. It's Ironwood. This man, this fight was this is probably I think the best one-on-one fight of the season so far.
And Ironwood just as a character, this whole goddamn volume has been so fucking good. He's a character with flaws and strengths. He's so good, not like Team RWBY. Who apparently have no flaws in terms of judgment and decision making. I hate it. I want them to be flawed more. I want them to recognize that they're stupid more often than they do.
But
you know why I like Silas so much? Because he was fucking. Because I could just fuck with him and he'd be like, "Fuck, I fucked up." It was a character with flaws, which made him so much better because of it.
Well, Verity
Silver had flaws that made him worse because of it, though. Unfortunately, let's not forget that one.
Verity had flaws.
Yeah, Verity absolutely had flaws.
He cared too much. That's playing.
I feel like you're trying to fuck with Dune more. Also, I'm just not having it. You're like, I can't believe you would do that. You would even consider that for cigarettes. Well, I have an addiction.
Yeah, there's definitely more of that, but I find that funny. So,
a child who has become So in real life.
I want you guys to know this is just like metagame here. But when someone offers him a cigarette, I think he's gonna be like, "I'll pass."
Like you like reforming or like
Like it's already been weeks, months since he's had a cigarette, and he's gonna be on a boat for another how long?
It's only
That
been like a
boat's-
week.
Okay, but how long is that boat ride?
We'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
I mean a couple days.
Well, no, it took 3 months to get over here last time didn't it?
It was a longer boat ride, but yes.
I'm just saying.
The boat ride itself only took like a couple of weeks. The walk is what took most of the 3 months.
If I'm just saying, if he goes a few weeks without smoking, why would he need it anymore?
I'll kick the habit.
He might just like chew on a toothpick from now on.
Maybe. That's up to you to decide as
Maybe he'll just go to brothels from now on.
as the spirit of your character.
He's already been there once.
Yeah.
So you said shapeshifter. Is that the same chick?
I mean
What do you mean?
You said there was a shapeshifter among them in the last episode.
Yeah, of D&D, yeah.
Was that the same chick?
That's not a... The shapeshifter is June. June Slifer.
Okay. So was he the one that was in the prison?
No, so the first time you saw him, actually, yes, he was the one in the prison. He was the one who was acting as her, who was acting as Myra. And that's the reason why he ended up Myra ended up being allowed to get arrested. Is because it was all part of their plan, so that way he could just be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna fucking transform and get myself out of here. Now I'm gonna be able to be at a place where I can fucking backstab the king. And of course that didn't work out. So he just transformed himself as to one of Norton's bodyguards and then just took a public stance as that.
Oh. Okie dokie.
Yeah. A lot of that's been more behind the scenes stuff that I haven't blatantly called out yet. But yeah, putting those pieces together, that's absolutely what's going on.
I don't even remember what the chick's name was. It wasn't like Mayo or something like that.
That was the fake name that was given.
I don't even remember what the real name was now.
I even just said it. It was Myra.
Myra.
Moira.
Dune's first love.
She's still alive.
Got a shot.
See her
man.
again.
Look her up when he gets
You're
back.
just a child.
You and
Hey,
Bueller are
like-
becoming great friends. Who knows?
I mean, we have become
You
good
never know.
friends. I mean, I gave him Verity. I can only imagine what's going on. Dude. I can only imagine what's going on in my team's head right now.
Yeah.
You're lucky I didn't cut you down when you stood.
I know you were like,
On the field.
Mike, you were literally like, I'm gonna fight him, and I'm like, you're not fighting him. Here he is. Take him.
You I was lucky that you did that because I was like, you know what? I have to remain in character. I literally had to look back at my character description and my moral standing and ask sex specific questions.
That was the reason, like, I've set up a couple of things is purely because of that. It's like, either Bueller's going to get a kill here or someone's going to stop Haku. It's like, either someone's going to attack Davos or Haku's going to do it.
I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to do this. Like, guys, thing is that why did you have to stand in the way? Why can you
When-
get on this dang elevator?
When Davos went down so quickly, I was like, this can't be it. And then you start talking like he caught the sword or whatever, and I was like,
Well, this is
Yeah, Davos was a fun one to make. Just broken and OP.
I don't look forward to that fight later.
I was
Yeah.
fully prepared to fight him to the death. Like I didn't know what y'all was gonna do, but I was like, if we staying in here, we fight to the death. Pull out all the stops I get.
I-
Take as many
I-
lives.
I give Zach
I'm
some
like-
metagame knowledge because he came over, to the apartment. I told him, I was like, there's a chance for the team to be wiped in this mission. So
Yeah, he said that. He told us that.
yeah.
I'm worried about Aryan. I don't know what's gonna. I'm pretty sure he's dead, but I mean, is Davos like Ironwood in a way where he's just gonna keep him because I don't know.
I will say this about Aryan. All the hints, there have been so many hints that I've put in place, especially in this last part about things that have happened in the past and things that will happen moving forward. there are just a ton of hints in there that you could possibly figure out what's going on. But even that, it's like I haven't made it obvious.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I do a very good job of making it subtle, so that way it's like when you rewatch, you're like, oh fuck.
But I've rewatched.
Have you rewatched the most recent episode?
Uh-huh. No, I haven't. I'm on the episode before. The one where Verity's standing there and the guy on the puff fast like, hey, right here.
You might pick it up. Especially with the Iron one, it's a little bit more subtle. But it's possible. There's specifically something that goes on with Fluff that's hinted about. But that's also one that I do not expect anyone to really see at first glance unless they're looking for it. All right, final things you want to say about this episode? Greatest episode of Volume 7, I think, without a doubt.
I can't wait for the next one.
Ironwood is a sexy motherfucker.
He could literally fuck your mother.
Yeah.
That music was real nice.
This reminds me of another Eruption Fang quote that he said. I think he says, like, he is literally carrying this volume on his strong, manly shoulders.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen whenever it's the next volume and he's not there.
I mean, there's still some pretty solid characters.
Maybe they'll bring Sun back.
I'm hoping. I expect their next place that they're going to go is going to be Vacuo, so I think we're going to see Sun soon.
It makes sense because they said that they were supposed to go to Vacuo. Why didn't they go to Vacuo? So they may go back there.
Yeah, there's no reason why they wouldn't go to Vacuo at some point.
But something's got to make them go there, right? They're not going to just say, hey, let's go to Vacuo. They need a reason to go to Vacuo. So I wonder if they're going to hear something that's said.
Might be that they get both the relics and they need another place to put it. Or maybe they're just going to go there to protect the relic because it's the only other one that they know of that exists.
They do know about that one?
Mm-hmm. They know there are 4 relics, and each of the relics are housed at the schools. The only one that is kind of a special case is the one that's kept in Vale. And for some reason, we don't know why, but Ozpin has said that one has special protections. It's safe.
Open involves magic.
Ozpin can open
like
it.
real magic.
A maiden is the only one who should be able to open the vaults, but it's implied that there's clearly something more going on with this one.
Maybe Ozpin has to open a vault and then the maiden.
Maybe.
There's a double vault.
Could be.
Maybe
it's because they need Zwei.
I don't know why they need Zwei.
God, if Zwei ends up being Summer, I'm gonna be so fucking happy.
I'll buy the piece that I was gonna buy Zach for for his winter theory.
If Zwei ends up being Summer, can I have rocket boots?
No, I'll give myself rocket boots. I'll give him to Bueller.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just give him to somebody like very powerful and shit. Seriously.
Oh man,
Fucking Bueller.
I love him. It's great. Well, I think that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. This should ideally be up sooner than the React. I'm gonna try doing that more for and I figure it might be better for views. So hey, hopefully you like it. Till next time. Bye. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Be sure to let us know whether you did or didn't by using those like buttons, the comments, or subscribing. And make sure you also spread it around to all of your friends, too. I'd also like to thank our patrons. With support like yours, we're able to slowly improve on our content, so thank you so much for supporting us. If you're not already a patron and you'd like to support us directly, be sure to check out our Patreon in the description below. We have rewards like stickers, shirts, behind-the-scenes content, and even the ability to make a major character to join in one of our D&D campaigns. Well, once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.